In this alternate timeline, Millie would never really meet Moxie. Instead, Millie would move to the big city looking for a new job, looking for a new opportunity, but she had no idea what that was supposed to be, what it could be. As Millie was walking through, though, this was a day before extermination, and well, the angels weren't supposed to attack imps, and it was uncommon, but not, well, cases of imps being destroyed did happen, even if they're uncommon. Every once in a while, an angel would get too happy and decide to, well, take a few imps out. Eventually, though, Millie would see Charlie. As Charlie looked sad, it was a day before Extermination Day. She wished she could get rid of it, but she didn't know how. As Millie walked up to her, she said, "What's wrong?" Charlie was surprised, and Imp was talking to her. Now, she didn't dislike imps. After all, she's Charlie, a beautiful, lovely, kind princess of hell. But she noticed most imps took to herself, but this imp wanted to talk to her. Of all people. Millie looked at her and said, "What's wrong, sweetheart?" As she looked deep into her soul, Charlie felt something towards this imp. This imp seemed kind and genuine. Most imps were downtrodden and given up, but she looked full of hope, and Charlie liked that. As then, Charlie would tell her how she felt about sinners and how she hated how they were going to be wiped out. And she wished there was a way to get them away from this. Millie would laugh and say, "Yeah, it's too bad they just can't go into heaven." As Charlie then stood up and say, "Millie, you gave me an idea." As then she would grab Millie's hand and say, "Do you mind helping me out with something? Do you have a job?" Millie would say, "No." "Well, I'm about to give you one." As Millie smiled, but since Charlie was holding her hand, she would look up and say, "Okay, I normally don't do that type of work, but since you're a princess and you're pretty cute," Charlie would say, "No, I didn't mean it like that. I'll explain later." Charlie and Millie would then start a hotel together. As well, the hotel would go pretty well. Well, I say well, it wouldn't be destroyed, so that's good. They wouldn't have any visitors, though. Millie would be paid to stay there and even get to live there with Charlie, and their romance would start to fling. They would go out on a few dates, and they would become girlfriends. They would appreciate each other. Millie really loved Charlie's sweet time. How sweet she was. To Millie, Charlie was extremely sweet. And that's one of the reasons Millie really liked Moxie. And they were together. Charlie was creative, she sung songs about her, and she was really nice to her. And as the months passed, they only got closer and closer and closer, until they would get their first residence. It was Angel as he walked in. "So, what kind of a place is this? I heard we give free house," and Millie would say, "Yes, we do, if you're here to actually be redeemed and not be a freeloader." Angel would start to get offended. After all, Millie was talking to Angel like she didn't know who he was. Angel was a famous actor. He was the hottest guy in the entire world. How could she just talk to him like this? Angel would walk up to Millie and say, "Listen, bub, do you know?" Charlie would then go, all right, Angel, come right here." As then Angel got a room. A year would pass, and Angel would be doing pretty well until that whole fiasco happened. And eventually, Alistair would come in like in canon, and the hotel would continue like canon, except each character would have a different reaction to Millie. Millie and Husk got along greatly. Husk would give her advice, Millie would give him advice, and she was a fun girl. And Husk liked her. They were good friends. Now, Angel and Millie started off rocky. Angel didn't like how Millie didn't look up to Angel and didn't view him as hot. Well, Millie did. She just never told Angel. Millie did have a thing for feminine men. But one day she would tell him that she liked him and that, well, she thought he was cool. She just didn't like his attitude. And eventually Angel would go down a few notches and they would become friends over time. And if this was a series, I would slowly show that development. And Alistair and Millie, well, Alistair viewed Millie as just another imp, but after seeing everything she's capable of, he would eventually come around to her. Eventually, Millie would become quite popular with the crew, especially Nifty. Nifty liked to destroy bugs, and she loved how strong Millie was, and how her and Millie would go around, destroying some bugs, having some fun, cleaning in unique ways. However, eventually though, Charlie would have to have a meeting in heaven. and she wanted Millie to come up with her. As Millie went up with Charlie to heaven, Millie was nervous. After all, she was an imp, the lowest class. The only class below her were hellhounds. And she was going to heaven? What would the others think? As she walked up, St. Peter was shocked. So, you have an imp with you. That's interesting. Anyway, come in. As they started to sing Welcome to Heaven, they started to walk in. As Charlie left, Millie would stay behind as she was nervous, as Adam would walk in. Well, an imp! I can't believe your girlfriend would date such a thing. Oh, so small and puny. I guess she has taste, huh? Does that mean she likes little weak? As in suddenly, Millie would punch Adam as he would fall to the floor. Ugh, what the F? As Millie would say, I'm not as weak as you think. As Adam looked at Millie, angry. I was gonna make a deal with you. I was gonna have you betray that little princess, and you could have had so much money, whatever you desired, but now that deal's off. Millie would say, I would never betray my girl. Lute would say, your love is disgusting. And well, I will take great and pleasure in exterminating you. It's rare we get to exterminate imps, since sadly we can't exterminate too many without people getting too upset. But every once in a while, I'll get the pleasure of wiping one out. You'll be one of them. An uppity girl, who thinks they can save a princess. Aw, don't make me sick. Your love is an abomination, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Millie said, F you. As then, she looked at her, ready to fight. But she knew she couldn't do this. This was heaven. She couldn't fight on their territory, so she simply sighed as Lute and Adam left. As then, everything else would go like in canon, except there would be no big reveal of Millie lying to Charlie. Since, no Vaggie, so no big fight. As in, Millie and Charlie would go down. Charlie would say, what are we gonna do? They're gonna attack us. Millie would say, we can fight back. I know so, hun. As Alistair would walk in and reveal that he knows something about angels that Charlie doesn't, but he'll make a deal with her. As in, Millie says, let me make the deal. Take my soul. Charlie would say, no. Yes, I know I'm just a hellborn, so it doesn't mean as much, but Alistair said, oh, that's sweet, but I was gonna ask for your soul, just a favor. You wouldn't hurt anyone or do anything like that, just a small favor, as Charlie would then agree against Millie's best judgment. As then, things would continue like a canon, except this time Millie would go to Carmilla Carmine, and Carmilla Carmine was expecting this. However, the whole fight for love thing wouldn't happen. She would jump down because she already knew she was fighting for love, not revenge or anything like that. As then, Camilla Carmine would start to sing, why do you fight? Why do you come? Millie would say, I come for love. As then, Camilla Carmine would test her skills, and well, she was way more skilled than Vaggie. Vaggie was a skilled fighter, but she was an exorcist. They were overconfident and, revealed weaknesses, but Millie didn't fight like that. Millie fought a lot better. And Camilla Carmine respected Millie and decided to give her the angelic weapons. As Millie would go back to the hotel, she began to train with Charlie. As Charlie got the army and Millie got the weapons, they would train continuously. Millie had far more skill and knew how to fight. However, Charlie had way more magic. Millie knew Charlie had a lot of potential, and Charlie could win this alone if she only knew how to battle. They would train all night long as she became stronger and stronger. But as they trained, they began to move together. They began to sweat together. And well, to enlighten their spirits, they decided to have a fun time. As the next day came, they were both in each other's bed. As Millie said, are you ready, love? Charlie said, I was born ready. As they got their clothes ready and left, ready to fight the angelic army. As the army gathered there, ready for the angels to strike at any second, they waited and waited until a portal opened up and Adam flew down. And the battle went just like in canon, except for Vaggie fighting Lute, it was Millie fighting Lute, and Millie wouldn't show any mercy. As Millie and Lute fought, they gave it their all. And the fight was closer since, she couldn't really fly. However, Millie would still come out on top, and she would destroy Lute. With Lute gone, Adam would be destroyed just like in canon. This time, there'll be no Lute and no Adam. No way for an exorcist to attack. Which would affect Season 2, of course. I don't know how, since it's not out yet, but we can speculate. As then, Lucifer would look at them too, and say, Millie, I didn't know what to think when I figured out my daughter was dating an imp, but I'm glad she did. You're a great person, you know that? I'm glad my daughter dated you. Millie would hug him and say, "Me too." As in they all hugged. They did it. Millie and Charlie fell in love, and they would run this hotel to help sinners, to help them redeem their past, as their love would help others find the way to redemption. That's going to leave things off. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you thought of this video in the comments below. Now, I enjoyed making this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Today has been an interesting day for me. A lot of things are going on in my life. Not too long ago, my birthday happened. I don't want to go on too much detail about it, but I'm getting to this point where I really need to do something. And I don't know what yet. I have a job, I have channels, I have things going on, but I need something in my life, but I don't know what it is, you know? Now, I'm not the type of guy who wants a family or anything like that, or even, needs that, but I don't know. I feel like I'm missing something, and I don't know what it is. And why am I sharing with you guys? Because I want to know, have you ever felt like that? You ever felt like you were missing something? And if so, what was it? And how did it end, What did you find? What did you go through that made you feel like you had something in life? Anyway, love you all. Thank you so much for watching my content. Thank you so much for enjoying it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Hit that thanks button if you want to send me any money, because I work good for, I work hard on this channel. And thank you so much for 5K. We hit 5,000 subscribers in a year. I knew we can do it. Maybe next year we'll have 10,000, maybe 20,000. Nah, I don't think we'll make it that much next year. Maybe. You never know. You never know. Love you all so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for liking. Hope you all have an amazing day. Peace out.